Imagic, the company that knew how to get the most out of the hardware with the least. I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and you're looking at Demon Attack. But before I get further into what this game is about, let me tell you a little more about Imagic, because I imagine a lot of the viewers watching right now weren't even kids during the era when Imagic was the king of Atari and Intellivision games, and their silver boxes meant you had something to look forward to. They started out in the year 1981, and their best selling titles for that era were Atlantis, Cosmic Arc, and Demon Attack. They didn't just make games for Intellivision and 2600, though. They also made them for ColecoVision, Atari 8-bit computers, Commodore 64, the TI-99 4/A, yes, a Texas Instruments computer/console, and even for the Magnavox Odyssey 2. In fact, they were the only third-party developer for Odyssey 2. Quite the lineage in video game history. They are a very important company for the 1980s. They were the second third-party publisher for the 2600 right after Activision. The founders were Bill Grubb, Bob Smith, Mark Bradley, Rob Fulop, and Dennis Coble. And Rob Fulop is the programmer of the game you're looking at here, Demon Attack, one which got them sued by Atari because of a resemblance to a video game they had created called Phoenix. The case was ultimately settled out of court. As for Demon Attack, it is a fixed shooter based on the 1979 arcade shooter Galaxian, even though several waves do resemble Phoenix, hence the lawsuit. You are stranded on the ice planet Krybor. Not that you would know that without reading the instruction manual. It looks like you're on a blue surface. That might imply an ice planet, but nowhere is there an intro or a cutscene that explains this. Like most Atari games of the era, you had to read the manual, look at the box art, and use your imagination a little bit. So without the box or the manual, you'll just have to take my word for it. This is the planet Krybor. You control a laser cannon to destroy legions of demons. That is the appeal of this game, is they compare it to Galaxian and Phoenix, but I feel like it stands on its own as just, it envelops the imagination even before you start playing. The words Demon Attack really do set up a menacing presence in your mind before you hit the fire button to start the game. Holy fucking shit. Demons are attacking. Demons. I'm getting swarmed by beasts from hell. It's a demon attack. Holy crap. Holy diver. You're the star of the masquerade. No need to look so afraid. But you should look afraid, because these aliens, demons, whatever they are, they move in very unpredictable ways. It's even worse than Space Invaders. You remember the line from Futurama where the alien says, "You should have shot where I wasn't instead of where I was." Well, that's very true of this game, because if you shoot where they are, they're already gone. You have to sort of guess whether they're going to move to the left or the right and try to aim your shot accordingly. And then, of course, you have to avoid the enemy fire coming back at you at the same time. And each wave of demons has a different attack. Some use a sprinkling shot, some use a stretched out laser, some even split into two, as you can see here, and the halves that split will fire shots at you. Then if you don't kill the halves that split, they'll swoop down from where they are and destroy your ship if they crash into it. Although if you can move far enough to one side or the other without shooting them, sometimes they just crash into the ground instead of into you. Each wave that you survive without getting hit and with all of the enemies being destroyed, you get an extra life. But if you die during a wave, no bonus for you. So this game gets very frantic, very fast in the later waves, and you really have to get into a rhythm. You gotta be just totally in the zone and feeling yourself when you're playing Demon Attack. And I don't mean like feeling yourself in that way, if that's what you're thinking. Ew, no, don't tell me if you're doing that. I don't need to know. I mean the hip-hop sense of feeling yourself. You gotta have a little bit of a cocksure attitude and know you're the shit and you can do this shit. You gotta feel it when you're playing Demon Attack. You gotta be right there thinking, I can fucking blow my way through this game because I got this shit down locked, tight. I'm gonna whip ass at this. And when you get in that zone, when you really start feeling it and you get into a groove, things just start flowing. It's like tunnel vision. Your mind just, it locks in with Demon Attack. It's, unless you play it, it probably doesn't translate. You're probably looking at this thinking, that's a pretty basic 1980s arcade style shooting game on a home console. But it really does have an atmosphere and a feel that just maximizes what the Atari could do. You put this game in an Atari 2600 and it stands up to any other system of the day. This game doesn't make you feel like you're playing a very limited power system or even more than 4K in a cartridge required bank switching. No, this one actually really makes you feel like you're playing a fully fledged arcade style home console video game. It just is the complete experience. The sound, the graphics, the style of the enemies, the way they zoop into the screen when they come, when you destroy one and another takes its place, it just goes zoop into the screen. And each time you kill an enemy, the intensity of the music ramps up. It goes do 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 do. So it builds that tension wave after wave. It keeps your adrenaline pumping. It keeps your heart beating faster. Demon Attack is so well thought out from start to finish. It is a masterpiece. I mean, even just looking at the box art, and of course, box art and its actual relation to video games is often tenuous at best. Bob Dunga just did a great video about that. Raven, she has a fantastically underrated channel. You should check her out. But BOBDUNGA, watch her video about video game box art. I'm probably a fan of it just because she brings up how awful the original Mega Man box art is, and it is. Nobody denies that. But let's just say the box art here makes you feel like you're being swarmed by demons in outer space, and the game actually comes pretty close to representing that. It's not a field full of stars, because there's no backdrop here. But if you want that, play Galagon, because they found a way to do that and have the swarming enemies and have the ships come and suck you up in their tractor beam and lift you off into the sky like Galaga does. So that I would say that Galagon takes what Demon Attack proved the Atari was capable of and goes beyond that and shows what it was really maximum potential at when it was fully utilized to every last bit of what little power it has. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing the Atari 2600 justice when I say that it was underpowered and primitive. I mean, it's obvious that it's primitive because we all have cell phones and wristwatches that are more powerful than an Atari 2600. If you've got a TI calculator like a Texas Instruments 83 or 84, 85, or just any kind of graphing calculator if you're a college student, that's more powerful than an Atari 2600. But that doesn't make it bad. That just makes it a challenge to program for. That means people like Rob Fulop had to really understand the whole shebang. They had to know the perfect time to interrupt scan lines to execute code, and the perfect time to shift things from one register to another, and shortcuts that would allow them to do things that weren't supposed to be part of the operations of the processor, but they could make it happen anyway. Rob Fulop, he just deserves all the credit in the world for how good Demon Attack is. And he has quite the history himself. I mean, beyond being one of the founders of Imagic and the programmer of this game, he went on to work at PF Magic, the company that created the infamous and controversial Night Trap, the one that got the Entertainment Software Ratings Board kicked off. Everything that has an M for Mature rating now, indirectly, you can thank Rob Fulop for that. Maybe he knew all along by making a game called Demon Attack that that's where his life would end up, because it certainly sounds like you're going to be menaced by something straight out of hell that no parent should ever let you play. But this game was very popular. A lot of copies of it were sold. A lot of kids did play it. And if you're looking through a bin full of cheap Atari 2600 games for 50 cents or $1 each, I almost guarantee you're probably going to find at least one copy of Demon Attack in there. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. Thanks for watching, and if you've never played Demon Attack, go out and give it a try.